You get the middle. Of course you get the middle. You get the hot seat. What's up, Scott? Woo. Still feels a little bright. I think it's because, yeah. Oh, let me turn it down just a touch. Tighter a little bit, maybe.
Really?
Okay.
Hey, what's going on, David?
Good day, everyone. What's up from Michigan? How's everyone doing? Louis, what's up? Nick from Wisconsin. All right, I can't leave this in my pocket. Let's just put it there. No, I won't put it there. That looks bad. All right, we'll go there and it'll break. Oh, air compressor.
Yeah, air compressor. What's up, Robert? What's up, Franco?
Yeah,
hey, that's Mike.
You're making me nervous with that.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's put it here.
There you go.
Okay.
No bad.
Arlington. What's going on, Connecticut? Hi, everyone from Phoenix. All right, today, even though we didn't tell you, we have a guest today. That's right. We have John Catalano, not like the salad dressing.
That's right.
Yeah.
From AAMP Global. Now, he's done many, many jobs there, and today we're going to talk to him about some of those many jobs he does, as well as...
Jeff.
That's right, Jeff.
As well as we're going to talk about some of the new Stinger products that are going to be coming out here shortly. So, really excited to have him on today. Thank you so much for coming out today, John.
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure.
And you are all decked out. You have your Stinger hat, which is, of course, one of my favorite hats.
Yeah.
Is that a wink? I need a new hat.
No. I actually got two of them because, like, I think you brought me one, and then someone else brought me one, and I was like, "Oh, hey, thanks." Actually, I have one in the back seat of my car. That's my go-to hat, and of course, it made the trip to Hawaii when I went last year, so that was really fun. We're not here to talk about hats, though. We're here to talk about you.
The represent in the Hawaiian Islands, though. That was nice of you.
Well, of course. You know, as I was.
Yeah.
So, of course, we'll go. So. First day there, I'm going to go, you know, like you're a camera guy, so we're going to go take pictures. And when we'd been there a couple of years back, I was like, hey man, there's this area I want to go, and we were only there for like 5 minutes. So I was like, I'm going to go back there and spend a couple hours. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, have fun. It's on a cliff, so it's like the whole cliff of the island. And of course, I'm just running around like an idiot, you know, with my 5D. I didn't bring a bottle of water. I didn't bring, like, you can't get any phone reception. And I'm just crawling around in lava rock. You know, and I'm 5 miles away from the car before I realized that, man, it's hot out here. I've been walking for like 4 hours. Oh, this was dumb.
And then I walked 4 hours back.
And then, here's this sheer cliff here that I got to crawl up. So I'm holding my 5D, and I've got one hand because I didn't bring anything else I didn't bring a backpack, nothing.
Yeah.
So it was pure stupidity. It was great.
You're still here, so it worked out.
Well, yeah, I made it. Love Stinger products? Well, good. Hey, it's Eckley. What's going on, buddy? All right, so...
Who needs to talk louder? I'm not talking, he's talking.
I was talking. We went down a tangent like we often do.
Hey,
so let's talk about you.
Okay.
How many years have you been at AMP? You started when it was AMP of America.
Yes.
And now it's AMP Global.
It
so
was
how long
previously
have you been there?
AMP Florida.
It was AMP Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's big old Micah Ansley.
So how like,
when did you start?
When did you start, exactly?
1999 is when I started, so almost 18 years ago.
Wow. Okay. So you've had many jobs there, but before the job that you have now, let's even go back a little bit further.
Yeah.
What were you before you worked at AMP?
Well, I was an owner, stereo shop owner.
Okay. What was the name of the shop?
Audio Works.
Okay.
Yeah. Pinellas Park.
Okay.
St. Pete, Pinellas Park.
All right.
And then there's some unfortunate circumstances that go along with that. So
it
we'll
happens.
get into that.
Yep.
And then I took over a store in Riverview.
Okay.
Extreme Audio.
Oh yeah. Lots of those.
Yes. Well,
Yeah. Okay.
there was only a few then.
Yeah.
And then we did really well there. It was an awesome spot. It was just starting to blow up over there.
Right.
And then, as fate would have it, I was at Spring Break Nationals and ran into Nathan.
Nathan.
You know,
Yeah.
and you know, my wife and I were both Alaska judges, so I was always there, and everybody
Okay.
kind of knew me because I'd be riding my mountain bike around when I wasn't judging.
Right.
And I'd go check out all the cars real fast.
Right.
because
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
my
yeah.
bike. So I'm riding by, and there used to be that restaurant right there on the corner. I forget what the name of it is, Earl's or something, whatever it was.
Right.
Okay.
And Nathan's sitting out there, and he's like, "Hey, come on," you know.
Right.
And he comes over, and he's like, "Looking for a job?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Well, you should consider this, that, and the other thing." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool." I got job offers all the time then. Like Memphis was looking at me, and,
Right.
and it wasn't my deal.
Right.
I wanted to stay in the Bay.
Right.
And then I was talking to my wife, and she's like, "Well, you do want to have kids, and it'd be nice if you had a 9 to 5 job instead of working 6 days a week until 11 o'clock at night."
I don't know what that is. But anyway.
Yeah.
Hello
Well, that was
from
one
the
of the things.
Lees,
That's part of the
Australia.
grand plan was
Right.
had to have a house, had to have a nice
Yeah.
regular job,
White picket
the whole deal.
fence.
Yeah, the whole deal. So
Office hours.
I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
that's cool. So I, after 4 months of interviews,
Really.
even though they wanted me,
Yeah. They got to make sure that you're
4
right.
months of interviews, I said yes, and then we sold the store to my buddy Brian that owns Tint World now. He's got 2 Tint Worlds.
Oh, okay. So that oh, wow, you guys go back that far.
Yeah, actually, I stole Brian from Cartoons. I worked at Cartoons with Brian.
Okay.
He had just moved here from Georgia.
Right.
And AudioWorks, before I owned it, I had worked there, and I
Right.
left because I thought I was at like a plateau. I was the head installer. I wasn't really learning anything new. I was just busily going through the day to
Yeah,
day.
going through the motions.
And Bear was leaving. Remember Bear?
Yeah,
Jason.
yeah.
Bear was leaving Cartoons, and I didn't know he was leaving. I wanted to go to Cartoons because they were kind of the premier shop at the time.
Yeah.
And I interviewed with Sean, and he's like, "You're hired." And then I gave the bad news to the guy that owned AudioWorks, and I went and worked for them for like 6-8 months.
Wow, 6-8 months.
Yeah. Well, what happened is the guy that owned AudioWorks wanted to sell the store, and he called me and he said, "Hey, will you come
What's
back?
up, Jason?
They won't buy the store unless you come back."
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever that, because
Yeah, I get it.
Hey, what's
it's
up,
nice to be
Nando?
loved.
It's nice to be loved.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
They tell me that.
I went back, and we were doing good. We moved locations. We were on 34th Street. We moved to where Stereorama was
Okay.
Park,
Yeah.
and took over that space, which was great. And a couple months into it, one of the partners wanted to leave, and they offered it to me.
Oh, that's cool.
I thought.
Yeah, I know. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Seemed like a great idea. So my wife and I, scrounged some money together, bought into it, and then the other owners proceeded to bleed it dry. And
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and I had no idea because our deal was I run the day to day, he worries about the books. and
Oh,
ordering,
jeez.
And then.
Oh.
So, anyways, that was that big loop that we just did.
So apparently it's cold indoor soccer tonight.
Oh,
There
wow.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Compressor is off.
compressor is off.
Yeah.
So that
So,
was the tangent 1.
huh?
Oh, that was tangent 2.
Oh no, there's gonna be lots of tangents. I mean, that's kind of how we roll.
Yeah.
So we tried the life of this, and we ended up at AMP thanks to Nathan. For those of you guys that don't remember who Nathan is, if you go back and watch the show where he talked about the AMP Pro GM61, where we had like 20 pack people lined around us, he was
Pretty much.
one of the bald guys.
I want to just give you a little visualization of how it was when I first started at AMP with Nathan.
Oh, I
Remember?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just me, Nathan, and Gordy.
yeah, in that cave off to the side.
Yeah, and we shared a computer
Mm-hmm.
that we had to unplug when we wanted to fax something because that was also the internet.
Wow.
That's
That's how it started.
I
Huh?
just dated
So
myself.
what did he hire you to do?
Tech support.
Tech support. Okay, so that was you guys were the tech support.
Yeah, it was tech support, and then I also did returns.
Yep. Yeah, because you guys had to do everything.
Yeah, and I had the whole 80-20 rule, like, there's that 20%
Thanks, Robert.
that kind of knows how to work the system.
Yeah.
I'm in that percent,
Right.
so I could smoke out the guys that are trying to do that. So
Well,
they
there you
liked
go.
it that I was in
Yeah.
I was doing returns because I started making jigs so we could test like the alarms that would come in and
The wall.
yeah, those were great.
The wall, protected by the wall, and not Pink Floyd's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool. I mean, the whole thing was the size of a remote, but there's some drawbacks to it, actually working.
Okay, so Carlos, you guys suck at answering your subscribers'
On Messenger.
Messenger. Listen, Carlos, I'm real sorry we don't get a chance to answer all your questions. I get hundreds of emails every day, and I try to do the best that I can. I still have a 9-to-5 job, actually 9:30 to 6:30, 6 days a week, and I do the YouTube channel, and I do this live channel, and we do a live channel on Saturday that we try to answer as many questions as we can.
And that's what we have
So,
these two shows, like Facebook Live and YouTube Live.
So
if
I'm
you
sorry
have any
if we
question,
missed your question.
right here.
Or
But-
if it's a product specific, they can hit up the tech support for that specific product too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
who we were
We've got a
talking
huge
about.
tech support team, so for
So,
us, any luck,
sorry that it didn't work out for you.
All right, so
Okay.
let's keep going.
Yes.
All right.
Now, fast forward to a couple years back, and you end up in Stinger.
Well, that was 2005. I took over Stinger.
Okay. And you guys came out with a bunch of crazy stuff.
So, they hadn't, since the inception, they hadn't really changed
Anything.
anything. It was starting to be a little Me Too. There were a lot of unique parts. We had a bunch of patents, but nobody was looking at it. It was just selling.
Right. Yeah.
And because of my background, I wanted to make it that was more installer friendly.
That's
Right.
right,
We looked at-
Wayne.
So we looked at all the parts. How would I use this in an install? What things don't I like about what was on the market at the time? And some of the big things that seem simple now
Yeah.
that nobody pays attention to. Like, if I don't put that wire in straight into the fuse block, am I going to see the jacket and expose the wire, right? Everybody's were as short as possible because they were trying to use as little brass as possible to keep
Right.
the cost down.
Right.
So they put, barely a lip on there, if anything, and then as soon as the car got hot one time or the wire had any kind of bend, you would see it exposed.
Right.
And they were using like these little tiny set screws,
Yeah.
so it would go right through the center of the wire.
Now
So-
we use ferrules.
Yeah. Right. So what we did is we, sort of a few little things. So we added these really deep recesses, as big as a set screw we could possibly use. We made the fuse holders where you mount the base and then the fuse holder pops out, which
Right.
is pretty cool. We got a patent on that.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I hate that. I'm not gonna lie. I hate
You
it.
don't have to like it. It was to fix a problem with the fuse
What's up,
holder I
Bobby?
hope you never use.
What's
Like,
that?
An AGU fuse holder. Because AGU fuses, ours are really good, but they're still inherently the worst fuse in the ones that you could possibly pick.
Okay.
Thank you,
Because
guys.
it's
Thank
solid.
you.
Right.
All the other fuses are one piece of metal
Right.
that's just stamped out to the correct, right? AGU fuse is a piece of metal with a piece of solder, and then the element, and then another piece of solder. It's inherently going to fail at that solder point.
We're
So-
talking about glass fuses.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Let's
that's
just-
like all
I was
the
gonna say,
time.
let's just
yeah.
call them glass fuses.
Right, okay, glass fuses.
Yeah,
So-
the glass.
I mean, it's
That's what a lot of people when
They know it's glass
see
fuses.
the fuse and still like,
What's
okay,
up,
it's
Bobby?
good. No,
Yeah.
it's on the side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that-
yeah.
put a meter on it.
well, yeah, or you just look for the yellow goo, the flux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, fortunately, you guys only give those out in 8-gauge kits.
Fortunately.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is
yeah.
fine because 60 amps or below is perfect for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't use really over 40, but
No, I'm
Yeah,
just saying. I wouldn't
exactly.
use over 40, but what I'm saying is a 60 amp fuse in an 8-gauge kit, glass is okay.
Yeah, the kits, like our kits, we looked at the length of wire
hmm
and what that wire is capable of producing within, it sounds funny to say it now, but within the IASCA rules
Okay.
of what the voltage drop could be, which is 0.5 amps.
Yeah.
Or 0.5 volts over that run, right? So you don't want 0.5 volts of loss. And so we did, so 8 gauge is, our 8 gauge is 60 amps. Actually, it'll do 70 if you do like, so in the HPM kit it gets
Right,
to
but
70.
yeah. I would never
But
do
we
that,
put a
but-
mini fuse in there, so you get a nicer fuse.
Yes.
Okay.
But that's the max at half a volt, which is really not that bad.
No.
Yeah.
150 for 8, and our kits are 18 feet. And I don't know if you noticed that. Most
18 feet, huh?
everybody's 17 feet.
I was gonna say, what were we looking at the other day that was 17 feet? Was that the Rockford kit?
That was a Rockford
Most kits
kit.
are 17.
Yeah.
Those are 18.
Yeah, it's.
And some people look are like, "Wow, your kits are expensive." Well, they're actually
They're
an extra
$1.
foot of water.
Because in the Rockford stuff, they don't tell you in the package. So we're
'Cause we
like,
had to
I don't
look it
know
up.
if you always gonna reach. So I'm starting looking in the website and says, right, 17 feet. And I'm
You hurt my
okay.
feelings that we're using a rocket kit.
We won't even go.
But
We won't even go there because that's.
Yeah.
So yeah, just little. We tried to make it easy. So the AGU fuse I was talking about.
Yeah.
You had to
Remember Centerpoint?
stop. That was before me, and that was a joke. It worked only if you used the right wire with it.
Yeah, none of them worked.
Yeah. So,
Which is to say, it never worked.
yeah, so you'd have to you have to unscrew it to try to get the fuse out, or rack your knuckles you had to change your fuse.
Correct.
So it was pop the fuse out of the fuse holder, unscrew it, do what you got to do, put it back together, snap it back in place. So,
Which from that perspective, it's it's nice. I like the removable covers myself, but
why
when you
don't
can get them to
just
snap
for
on.
argument's sake, why don't you like the removable base one?
It just
you
has.
can be mean. It's okay.
No. It honestly, it really has nothing more to do than just screwing the thing down.
Okay.
Because
fair enough.
sometimes
we made the holes really big so you can.
Well,
use
no,
the
it's not
overheads.
even that. It's just a matter of sometimes when it's this way as opposed to this way when we're making the fuse holders.
Right.
It doesn't. It just gets. It's nothing against the fuse holder.
Okay.
It's just sometimes when we have to make our brackets,
It doesn't work out
that
the way
doesn't
you
work
want
out the way you
gotcha.
want it. You're going.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
You're just
But
going.
that's good.
You're a strange
Damn it.
breed, though. You know this, right?
I totally know that.
You know there's even a wire tie notch in it,
Yeah.
which I hope nobody ever uses.
Well, no. Yeah. They do
But it's
though.
there.
So, well, yeah, I mean, because, like today, if you guys watched the Saturday show, you saw the RX-7 that was in the back, and we finished that. Which just left.
Just left, exactly.
And sounded great. We didn't film it, don't ask. Anyways, when we were making our bracket to mount that fuse holder, it was like, we spend 10 minutes staring at, looking for where we're going to mount it. And then it's like, all of a sudden, you're like, ah!
You got a boy.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Alpine system harness can you use to add amps and highs? Well, so okay, 2018 Dodge Ram. This one's right up your alley. So this is going to be a pack piece. This is going to be. Do you know the two products off the top of your head?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so it's going to be an Amp Pro. So to do a 2018 Dodge Ram, we'll answer that question real quick with the Alpine system. You want to go to pack-audio.com, type in your make, model, and year. You're going to find an Amp Pro for that, as well as a T-harness, so that you can do everything you want right there, no problem. You can add amps, bypass the factory, or integrate into the factory amp, everything you want to do. That's a pack-audio.com part, and they have it. Buy it, you'll love it. We have a couple videos. If you check out the video we just did on the Chevy Amp Pro GM61, it's the same process. It's just take Chevy out, insert Ram. Same thing. No big deal. All right, so let's talk about blocks, fuse holders. Let's talk about sound deadening for a minute.
Okay.
Because I know, or dampening. How do you say it?
I say damping.
You say damping?
Damping?
Deadening works. I mean,
We're not killing it though.
People will cry you about it.
Oh yeah, I know.
Shrimps. We can talk about shrimps or neons. Same difference.
Wow, we're gonna go for neons. I love neons. Neons is plural. You don't need an S.
I know what you're talking about. I'm semantics. I really don't care, but technically it is damping.
Yes. Let's talk about that for a minute, because I know when you had that come across your desk, you spent a lot of time with that product for Stinger.
Yeah, I'm not going to name any names.
No, we don't have to go down that road.
We used to make a lot of other people's.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we had a screen printing house in-house.
Yeah, I remember.
So we would get the pallets of the material in, and we would screen print it for several brands.
Oh, that's cool.
So we always had our hand in it, and we had our own brand.
Right.
So we were kind of trucking along with that. It was doing pretty good, and then I wanted to change it, and we couldn't really. The manufacturer that was making it for us.
Thank you, Mike.
Really didn't have the ability to really think outside the box, so to speak.
It's aluminum with goo on the back.
I know. They just like, well, this is the way it is. Well, it used to be, remember, it was asphalt.
Oh, yes. Oh, God. Yeah, I forgot about that stuff.
It's like roof tile stuff.
Yeah.
So I had very specific targets that I wanted.
Right.
I wanted it to be tacky, but I didn't want it to be like, once you stick it there, it's never coming off again at that moment.
Right.
And I wanted it to be heavier than everybody else's because there's three things. It's the aluminum layer, the adhesive, and how much weight. You're literally adding mass is the biggest thing that you get from adding the material. So mass is good in that respect. Now we do have a lighter one, but it's a trade-off. 25% less performance, but you get lighter.
Right.
So you can go either way.
Yeah.
It is easy to work with, and that's why people
Way
like
easy.
that.
Yeah.
The stealth.
I love the stealth.
And a lot of people like the stealth because it's black.
I like the stealth because
Yeah,
it's black.
And which is a great
You don't see it
segue
back.
because the stuff will coming out soon.
Yes, which we'll talk about here in a minute.
Yeah.
Actually, screw it, bring it out.
Yeah.
We've kept these guys waiting long enough.
For something new.
So, Roadkill, which is the brand that is this stuff here, which is the stuff we use now, which is branded for all the acoustic, damp, whatever. Tomato. You guys are changing it now, and you're still gonna have Roadkill,
Yeah.
but you're coming out with a whole line of product called Stinger X.
Correct. Which we're releasing CES time.
Yeah, so that's gonna be January.
Little teaser.
First part of January.
It's an upgrade. Everything's a little bit of an upgrade. So the really nice shops will be having Stinger X.
So we're not gonna have it. Straight up, we're not gonna have it.
You'll get it for free or something.
Okay, I like that.
Real quick, the weather, 5-star weather update. The weather has been beautiful here.
Yeah.
I was in
Nice.
Orlando yesterday. That's why you guys didn't get a show this morning, and it poured in Orlando. How was your day yesterday? Did you have a good day? John, did you have beautiful weather yesterday?
It was beautiful. We went to the art festival.
Oh, did you go to the art festival?
I did. Had a nice little Sunday. Put together.
Yeah, so the weather right now is awesome as far as running is going. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's been amazing. So keeping that up. All right, so back to Roadkill. We're still going to make Roadkill, but now with the new Stinger X product, it's going to have the sound material.
Yeah, so
Just
you're.
rip it, man. It's
There you
not
go.
like it's going back in the bag. Yeah, sit
Yeah,
the big
you
stuff.
put it there. There you
Okay.
go.
So this is the
A little bit heavier.
Oh, let me
So I was talking about mass.
Yep.
So-
let me touch.
Ooh. A little heavier.
Okay.
Aluminum
Very
layers. Aluminum layers the
Yeah,
same.
we're back.
Because you really don't need the aluminum layer that much thicker.
Yeah,
than
you
the
need it.
other
You
new.
need it to be pliable.
Yeah. But yeah, a little bit heavier.
Is it
and then
stickier?
it's a little stickier.
I was gonna say that's
It's a
stickier.
little more aggressive. You gotta change it up a little bit, man.
That's
Well,
good.
yeah, I know
Yeah.
because we got to do different stuff.
Yeah. And so a little bit. So tackiness is a little bit higher. Weight's a little bit heavier, but we also have the nice black. So if you're putting it behind a grill,
Yes. And
Less likely to be
trust me,
seen.
nothing annoys me more when Paul gets into silver stuff, and we're like, dude, why?
Yeah, black.
well, if you want the expert or now the Stinger X performance, but you don't want the silver,
Right.
you can buy the 80 square foot bulk kit, which is not embossed and it is also black.
Okay.
Did you not know this?
Okay.
I feel bad for needing to tell you. that.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff that goes in and out of here, and it's like I think we bought one roll of it, used it, and then it kind of like
You forgot about it.
forgot about it. So it
And
just
it's a
kind of
little hard,
happens.
unless you know you're going to use the whole thing. You gotta pay.
What is the mass PFF? Fro wants to know. Do you know what
I don't
he's
know
talking
that
about?
off the top of my head.
Okay.
I'll be perfectly honest.
I can find out for you, Jason, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
The box landed with. There's
We're
another box on the
placing an
floor that
order
I
for
thudded
all
on.
that sticker
Um,
stuff. Cool, man.
So these are going to be the two 12x12s. These are the simple. This is
just a speaker kit. So each
Yeah.
door.
two
Okay.
12x12. So the idea behind this is the simple. Put it onto the door.
Okay.
Cut the
fold it
hole,
in.
or take the hole and put it on the back door.
So it's
that
coming
was
in this package?
What's up,
Now we're
Mel?
hoping you're going to be using the fast rings still. So
Yes.
you would cut that and then roll it around the back. Side
Okay.
is the way I would do it. You kind of just
X marks the
yeah,
spot.
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
then fold it behind, and then you take then you have a nice
The
mounting
acoustic
area
plug.
for the back of the fast ring.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So that's that. And then we're gonna have the full kit.
Well, we have bigger. I didn't bring them all.
No, they're gonna have a bunch
So
of
we
kits.
got a door kit, trunk kit.
Well, right here on the side.
36 square feet.
Floorboard kit. Holy cow. Alright, so we got a 1236. You got a 12 square foot door kit. You got a speaker kit. You got a tag frame. Everyone loves a tag frame kit.
Of course.
Yeah.
Trunk lid kit, 20 square feet. Universal kit, 4 square feet. You know, it's amazing how much of this stuff gets eaten up in the trunk lid.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Because, I mean, yeah.
The trunk kit is really kind of like for the inside bottom of the trunk.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do a whole trunk, you almost go through a bulk kit.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's what I would sell.
This looks like a bed sheet.
What is that?
That is the carpet pad,
Okay.
Wow, that is pretty
or
cool.
we will say floorboard kit.
Yeah, all right, let's take a look at that.
Okay.
Now, is there gonna is it the ultimate? What's the stuff with the foam?
That's ultimate.
Yeah,
That's
ultimate.
ultimate. Is there gonna be ultimate in this?
We will eventually have an ultimate go into that. Ultimate's kind of its own deal already.
Okay.
Just like we're kind of gonna do with the RCA's. We're gonna
I
do
love
a
the
little
ultimate.
shit.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Little shit. It's awesome, right?
The ultimate's the
One
best.
layer
Oh, yeah.
done.
Yeah, because like
Everything.
anytime you're doing
Yeah.
a rear deck, gets ultimate. Anytime someone comes in and they're complaining that their door panel rattles,
Yeah.
the door panel, not the actual plastic piece,
Mhm.
it gets ultimate.
Yeah.
It's just a joy to work with. I mean,
Thanks.
it's like, and I'm not like, because I don't do that, but it's
I
like
appreciate that.
I love working with it because it like goes in like tile and it just sticks and it's nice.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the adhesion property. So the big deal, like I said, because I was an installer,
Yes.
is we make mistakes.
Nuh-uh.
So I wanted to be able to stick it where I'm going to place it,
Right.
and then maybe readjust it.
Yes.
And some of our friends
So,
that
John,
make other products, you stick it there and it doesn't move.
No.
But there's actually a trade-off to that too. Once, if it's that, it has that aggressive as an adhesion.
Right.
That adhesion never, or the bond never increases from that. The bond to
Okay.
the
Yeah,
metal.
yeah. It's just gonna stay that way.
Right, it stays there. So if we went with a little less aggressive adhesive, when you place it there, it cures over a couple days and then it bonds to the metal. Like if you try to take it off, it actually will split the material. You won't be able to get it off.
So it's like using the right. I know exactly what you're talking about because we had a conversation many years back about other products,
Mhm.
and I had one of said products. So I took a piece of Stinger, I took a piece of that, and I took another piece of that, and there's the door over here. They're still stuck to that back door, and every now and then I'll go out there in the summertime, and I'll just, and that's what they do. It just, the butyl expands, but it never comes off the
right,
door.
because it's sticking to three things. So
Yeah.
it just tries to break it in half. Or
Yeah.
split it.
So that's kind of amusing.
There's actually if you think these things are humorous, you can go to my YouTube page.
Oh no, I've watched those.
Yeah.
And where we had one of the guys that he used to be a purchaser. He used to buy like all the little components, like
Mhm.
diodes and everything. And I'm like, hey, can you hold this phone for me real quick? I want to try something. And we had like every conceivable brand of sound damping.
Yeah.
And so we cut it all in little squares because there used to be this video where they said that ours sticks to WD-40, and they would basically spray an S on the panel that they're going to put their material on, and then
Right.
they would do the same S on the other panel where they would put the competitor, but then they would swash, just
Smear it
spear it
around.
around so every possible spot on the
Yeah.
competitors
So, Josh,
had WD-40 on it, where theirs had like at least 6 points of contact where there was none.
Ernie just says, "Don't forget the WD-40."
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So it actually caused a big stir.
Yes.
I was kind of a bad,
Yeah.
not liked for a while in the industry because I was calling out this guy, and I wasn't really calling him out. I wanted to see if it actually worked.
Right.
Mhm.
So we did everybody's. We did ours. We did,
Everybody's.
every brand you can think of, and some that you would never heard of. And we just did it live while our buddy recorded it on his phone, and then none of them stuck.
Oh, it's WD-40.
Yeah,
Shocking.
none of them stuck. And then I'm like, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt, and we left it over the weekend. Now in their video it says an hour,
Mhm.
and we're like, it didn't stick at all. So we came back in 48 hours. Still none of them stuck,
Yeah.
and it's pretty funny. I'm like peeling them off. I'm like, no, not even close. It's
Yeah.
just ridiculous. Nothing. It doesn't stick to WD-40. Why? WD-40 is a solvent, and this is butyl. it will dissolve the butyl.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's good for cleaning the butyl off your fingers.
Yeah. So if you ever want to get this material off, if you can get it started, you can spray WD-40 on it and start peeling it and spray it and peel it.
Oh,
and spray
screw
it.
that, man. No.
But you just leave it in there.
You know, but that does bring up a good point, because a lot of people, when they're putting sound dampening, deadening, whatever on the doors, roadkill. So if you watch the videos when we talk about this stuff, we always call it roadkill. We're very specific about that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, it's what we're using, but it's a heck of a lot easier to say that than dampening or deadening or whatever. I don't want to have that conversation. But anyways.
Free can with every box.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So the point
right
is,
here on the side.
So we've seen lots of people have done their own roadkill or the competitor on the door, and they forget to trace the door with the pencil, and then you'll always see the silver sticking out.
Yeah.
So you can cut it, not the paint, but cut the aluminum, and then you can use the WD-40 to clean that crap off, just so you're clean it when you're done and get that oil back off the door.
If possible, because usually you're taking the water barrier off, and that's a template. So I just take that and I set it on a piece of the material, trace it out with a marker.
I like leaving the water barrier on.
You can put it back on after.
Yeah.
You can still put it back on after, but I pull it off to be able to put. You can't put the material onto the water barrier.
No, but all right. So I have when I'm doing sound when I'm putting the roadkill indoors, I have a policy that it has to be 100% serviceable even after we do it. So if there's a water barrier on there, it's on there for servicing purposes a lot of the time. So we're not going to put a piece of sound deadening over that.
Over the hole.
Well, no, over this area here. I mean, we will wrap it and then put it back on. So that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Because there are some places now that just cover the whole thing. And it's like, what do you do when that window regulator breaks?
No, I totally understand what you're saying. Yeah, you take that barrier off.
Yes.
It's already a template to the door.
Which we
you lay it on the thing, trace it out. I mean, it takes almost no time. Yeah. And then what you do is you just peel off, like you take your razor knife and you take an inch or so off of the roadkill.
So when are you guys going to CNC cut it?
We've already been down that. I've already priced out CNCs for that. Keep getting shut down.
All right. Okay, so one of the reasons why I was bringing up the whole dampening thing is because Ernie is the Nazi when it comes to this. He's like, dude, bro, wait. Hey man, that's not dampening, it's dampening. Right.
Dude, you did that perfect. Ernie, did you hear that? That was spot on.
Ernie's the best.
Yeah.
You guys almost look alike. You could be brothers.
How?
He's
got red hair.
I just figured I'd teach you.
I don't have red hair. Screw you guys. I'm playing with my Legos. Leave me alone.
Make me some jerky. That's what he would say.
Oh yeah.
Now we're big on Ernie.
All right, so let's throw this tongue twister. Let me see this for a second. Hold on.
See how you didn't hear nothing.
Exactly.
So is this question is does this have?
There's no adhesive.
There's no adhesive.
Okay. No. So again.
This literally just goes under the carpet.
Yeah. So again, what you do if the guy's got floor mats, take the floor mats out, trace it, cut it out. You don't even have to take all the carpet out.
You can't heat this at all, can you?
There's no real need to heat it.
I mean, like if you're trying to go over like a hump, throw it out in the sun for a couple hours.
Oh yeah. It'll apply.
Yeah, so that like you can get rid of the.
Okay. Right.
You just you just take the door sill off, and you can just literally slide it up underneath the carpet. Because it's going to fit right there if you use
I'm doing a terrible job folding it.
Most people don't take the center console out and the whole carpet out to be able to do the center. I said you're special. Sometimes I mean that good, and sometimes I mean that bad.
Oh yeah.
The easy way is just to cut out the, do the floor mats.
Unfortunately, after almost 30 years of doing this, the easy way is never the right way.
No, and in the transmission hump, I would use the regular material and then that over.
Yeah.
If you could get
Yeah. Or just do ultimate.
Or you could just do ultimate.
Call one and done.
It is.
So we have some RCAs here. Now we've actually had these on the show before when we had Artie here. We had like 2 seconds.
I don't know why he's stealing my thunder.
No, because we didn't really get to talk to him other than him go, hey man, we got new RCAs coming out, bro.
Yeah.
That was my really terrible imitation of Artie.
Okay. So what is that one?
Oh, are these copper?
Aren't they pretty? Pretty? as they like to say in this
No,
area.
no, it's right here.
Okay, so
No, give me the box so I
right
can
here.
show
All right, so let's back up before I get all excited.
So the ones in your hand are called X3.
All right, so that would imply that there's an X2
Yeah,
and an
and an
X1.
X1.
All right, let's start with X1.
Okay,
Okay.
where's the X1?
See,
X1's
here you go,
in there.
Fernando. Look, see what we were talking about?
Yeah.
Locking.
Actually, we
Okay.
should start with what I didn't bring, 9000s. So the 9000s were the kind of out in their own wonderland of awesomeness.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesomeness.
Yeah. Right? So, there's really nothing.
Send me beta
Send me
samples.
beta samples. I don't even have any. He's got to take
Exactly.
these when he leaves.
Ernie said yes, jerky, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Hold the console.
I'd pull the council.
They,
baby.
yeah, so we made the 9000 series, and,
Now,
this,
was
that, and the other-
that was you.
that was me.
That was you going, shut up.
We need these.
Yeah.
Almost got fired kind of
So,
many times.
all right, how did that work out for you, though? How are the 9000s doing?
Well, to kind of give you an idea, when we first released them,
Mhm.
we bought what we thought would be a year's supply, and we
Really?
sold out in 3 months.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I was having an interesting conversation the other day with a vendor, and I was asking them about what we talked about the other day. I
Yeah.
said I want a really nice RCA butt connector,
Uh-huh.
and he pointed out to me that
Split tip, yeah.
that the problem is actually two things. One, we've convinced everyone that the quality of the RCA doesn't matter,
Yeah.
and then two, HDMI is pretty much taken over everything. Because now, if you have a home receiver, before you would daisy chain things together. Now everything's just HDMI. Back to the 9000 though, we use it in car audio.
Mm-hmm.
So you decided, or you begged, borrowed, and killed
Yeah.
to say, I want the best RCA that we could possibly make.
Basically, I designed it about 2.5 years before we even produced the first one.
Okay.
And when we do our internal,
wow.
what we're gonna products we're gonna work on for the year, what is the profitability, what is the how many you think you could sell, all these things, we would do
Right.
this matrix, and I can never really
Split tip, wink, wink.
never really push past the benefits for the company. It was more like, oh, you just want it because it's cool. You're a product development. You just like to make cool stuff, and you want it for you. And I'm like, well, I could have them made for me.
Right.
That's not the purpose.
Right.
We needed a higher end cable. Nobody's making anything for the real audiophile guys.
Right.
Everybody's using home stuff.
Right, which sucks now
Yeah.
apparently anyways,
Mhm.
unless you have
Um,
thousands of dollars.
And we did so well with HPM3 then. And
Okay.
we used to have the experts before.
Yes.
I'm like, look, even if we only do half of this, it's a win. you
Right.
know? And we needed that bar to set high.
Right.
So finally, they let me do it, and Ron Freeman was the CEO at the time,
Yep.
and he bet me dinner in Vegas that we wouldn't sell the year's supply.
Really?
In the year. He knew he had confidence that I knew it was
Right.
good,
Right.
but he was kind of like trying to egg me on a little, like, hey, we're bringing them in now, and like,
Yeah, it's all on
Yeah.
you.
yeah, it's all you. So
So you
we
guys,
so we sold out, which was
Right.
it was good and it was bad because now we lost the momentum that we had with them because we sold them all.
yeah, and then you had to
Um,
wait another.
Yeah,
4
we
months.
had some, but the 17s and 20s, the ones we were using the most at the time.
Right.
Yeah, we were out. So, and they don't get produced very fast.
Really? I mean, I can't see why.
So it was like 3 more months before we had them again. But
Okay.
we recovered, and now we got track record, and they do well. So then when we were like, I want to have a new line of RCAs, but we don't want to kill what we have already.
Yeah, like everyone else.
Yeah. So I went back, to the drawing board, and our designs were sound.
Mm-hmm.
So I just looked at what can I do that's better to what we already have.
Right.
And so that's why there's a little bit of like if you look at them, there's some similarities, but
Right.
Yeah, this looks like the 4000s.
But if you compare it to a 4000, it's nothing like 4000,
Okay.
other than like kind of aesthetic. The outward look at
See
it
that one?
is similar,
Mhm.
and that's going to be the closest to like a previous design that you're going to see.
Right.
So, but it has a much more aggressive end.
Yeah, which is my biggest complaint with the 4000 is that it doesn't.
Much more aggressive end. They're all gold plated,
Mm-hmm.
and it has some indentation, so you can really get a hold of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
But it's still small, so you can get it behind the. There's room behind that dash, so when you cram 6 pairs or 4 or 3 pairs in there,
No idea what you're talking about.
no, because they make the dashes deeper now, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You can fit a
As soon
small
as you
child
cut-
on the left or the right, but
Yeah.
behind the radio, they're like, oh, that's our space.
So which
Okay.
ones are these? These are.
Those are X1s.
This is the one.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
So we're just going high to begin with.
yeah. So you got X1s, and there's 6 channels, 4 channels, 2 channels,
So this
3.5 to RCA, 3.5 to
directional twisted.
3.5
Yeah.
to 3.5. Yeah, so you got a directional cable, twisted, directional twisted pair,
So you guys are making the Toshlinks cables.
and
too.
we also have Toslink in there, and we also have RCA to speaker wire. So if you're using like one of our awesome amplifiers that have balanced inputs,
RCA to speaker wire. Is that the?
that is the X12 line.
This
Is
is
that
cool.
going to be different than these? Oh, that is these.
Yeah, that's those.
That's these.
So that was
We have-
actually the first piece we released. We
Yeah.
released them early.
We haven't had a
Just
chance to
beginning.
talk about these yet. We're going to though. So these. Yeah. So that's that end. That's why
It looks somewhat familiar.
Yeah, so-
You've already touched them and not known.
we've actually gone through several of these, and I had to order more. So this is cool. This is
See you, Victor. Thank you.
that end, but with
9,000's where it's at.
Yeah.
so this is that same end that comes on the X1, but this has a left and right. This has just regular speaker wire coming off of it,
Mhm.
so you can do. So it's an RCA. So these are we're gonna talk about these more in future videos, but we've been playing with these because these are really nice for the problem we were talking about.
Yep.
We can make these any length we want.
Yeah.
So if I need
Yeah,
a half
if you
foot
got balanced
RCA,
in,
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if I need a half foot RCA or a 3-inch RCA or a 4 foot RCA, I can make my own.
Okay, and
Without
then we
having
have.
Cradio.
I
Cradio?
got a cool design. Make your own bands. But I'm not product anymore.
Okay, and then we have
Guys.
what? This is the.
So this is X2.
This is the X2. Okay.
Is that what you're playing with there? Or is that?
No,
oh,
that's X3. So that's a double shielded directional twisted pair. That's got a full metal body, full metal end. No thing, so it's really aggressive when
Okay.
it locks in. We call it our quad lock.
So is this like a full coax style cable?
No, those are double twisted or.
No, I mean the actual winding, the actual cable itself.
No, it's twisted pair and double shielded. But they're all.
It's a fat
Siamese.
version of that.
It is because it's
Yeah.
got shielding in it.
Yeah,
It would
yeah,
look-
yeah.
It would look really crappy if it was transparent.
Well, no. I don't mean that. I mean it's this style, twisted pair, just a bigger, thicker RC. Unlike that, that's a mono.
Well, because
cable.
that doesn't have, so that's just a directional twisted pair. So
Yes.
it's
Okay.
noise
It's-
reduction is
it's the twist.
by the twist.
Correct.
This has 2 other layers of noise reduction
Right.
with the foil, so the jacket is inherently bigger, and it also has a much heavier end, has the aluminum or
Yeah.
metal ends, and,
That's a nicer end.
and it's a full machine.
And a video
Pulling
cable
machine
in the X1.
tip.
I like those.
Okay. Yeah, I like this ones too.
Well, yeah, those are super
Yeah.
sexy, right?
Those are super. Are those coming in a 6-channel?
No, because of the just inherently to the design, we did
Because
a
it
4
would-
channel,
4-channel and 2
but
channel.
the 6 channel would be like a aught gauge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we decided you do a 4 and a 2 channel if you
Which
do
is-
6. But at least it's easier to run.
Yeah.
You don't want.
Well, no, I'm fine with the 4 and I'm fine with that because most of the time, what makes these work as a 6-channel is the fact that you can split them.
And you can with
Yeah.
the X2 as well.
You can split these.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes what you end up with is you have, the 4 here and then the 2.
Yeah.
2 feet away from them, and it's like, okay, splice, cut, do whatever you want. Whereas that, yeah, you couldn't do that. So
Yeah.
good call. So yeah, I would open with that. Well, if you need to split them, you can't split them with that.
Yeah, so that's a big deal for our interconnects too. And like if you compare to some of the competitors that are out there,
Right.
ours, we've had this tech since I started doing the RCAs.
Yeah.
We call it C3 tech, which is continuous connection.
Okay.
And the only solder joints are in the ends,
Okay.
where a lot of guys cheat. So if you see a stopper,
Right.
this buddy right here,
Right.
they don't do it for cosmetics. That's where they cheat. So what they do is they run a positive for left, a positive for right, a single ground, and then they solder the grounds here together to the two ends. So you have like super crappy noise signal separation.
Oh.
So
Okay.
if you cut your RCA off, they'll have 3 wires in here to make
Oh.
4 here.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
I
Hey.
won't name names.
No. That's not what we're about.
But
I like these. I'm not gonna lie. I like
I
the
appreciate
copper.
that.
I like
Yeah.
the copper
so
color.
the conductors in here. So this, and the other reason we can't do we could do a 6 channel, but it's just
It would
isn't
just be
practical.
huge. Yeah.
Is
Well, actually, it would be cool because with the 5-channel amps.
it'd be a monster. But like I said, to make it easier to run and
Yeah.
keep it under the carpet,
Yeah.
and it'd be really, the cost ends up being the same, but it'd be sticker shock. It'd be like super expensive. So, but anyways, I digress.
You're a sexy beast.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
The internal construction, so you have double twisted pairs. So what that means is the 3 conductors, so
Yes.
you got the directional and the positive and negative, are twisted together,
Okay.
left and right, and then those conductors are twisted together again. That's why this jacket's so much bigger than, let's say, that one.
Right.
Because it's twisted twice, and as you know, it takes
Yeah.
more material, it shrinks, and it gets fatter.
Right.
And then it also has 2 layers of Mylar and a metal braid under here.
So, all right. Yeah, it's sexy as hell. Is basically what we're getting at.
And they're silver plated conductors.
So let's go back to the original.
No, I'm not buying it.
But let's go back to the one. All right. So like we were talking about, where do RCAs really even matter anymore?
If you don't think the RCAs matter, then you've never really listened to a car that sounds good, for one, to be able to hear the difference between an RCA.
Okay.
So we have customers that I always suggest that you take, if you have the ability on your soundboard to have a panel where you can have an RCA that goes in and out,
Mm-hmm.
and you can set your soundboard up and then do where you can A/B it quickly.
Right.
So you can go RCA A, RCA B, RCA C, and switch between, so you're not changing levels, you're not changing the content, and like play something that's kind of repetitive, a song that, not
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
hip hop song, something that you can hear the nuances in,
Mhm.
and then switch between. The biggest jump is going to be when you go to this, even more so when you go to a 9000, but when you add this cable, like we
Right.
actually have had competitors complain about this cable
Why?
because they say it makes their tweeters too bright.
Hmm.
They're like, man, my EQ's messed up. I switched to your RCAs. My tweeters are really loud.
This is with the 9000.
9000's even worse.
Oh,
because
really?
Oh, wow.
It raises it's not as drastic in just highs because it has silver and copper conductors, so they're totally separate. This one's silver plated copper, so you get a little bit of and I don't want to say boost because it's all a reduction.
Right.
You're starting at your target is 0
Right.
loss, which nobody's going to have unless you're a
Correct.
superconductor.
Right.
So it's always lower than that, right?
Right.
So with these cables, because of the silver, you get a little bit of a ramp up at the higher frequencies because it travels skin effect. The high frequencies inherently
Travel better
over
on the outside of the
on the
wire.
outside.
Yeah.
And the silver is a better conductor, so inherently it travels faster or with less loss, not faster.
Yeah.
Right. So they would have their car and they're like, oh, I'm going to upgrade to these, and they plug it all in, and then it changes the sound. Well, they got to retune it because they've had to boost their treble up wherever
To
they
hear
did it
it.
on their DSP or EQ or whatever
Right.
to compensate for the loss of the cable that they were using.
Okay.
And then now all of a sudden they hear, or hey, I got engine noise now because we put your cables in your car. And I have an awesome story for that, but I could take the whole show.
We won't.
Wow.
And by our friend Randy Swartz.
Yeah.
I'll do a real fast one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Randy calls me. He's like, "Hey, I did your 9000s, and man, I had to cut the stopper off to get it in the way the installer was doing. He had to cut the stopper off.
Okay.
He's like,
this is the stopper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think I may induce noise somehow because I cut the stopper off. He's like, does it matter that the stopper's there? I'm like, no, it's just a cosmetic transition because of the way this is. You can't really have it just come out the nothing.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it's so small because there's no joints in there or anything. It's just a cosmetic cover.
Right.
So we go over some stuff, and I go grab one of the, you know, the prototypes I have where it's all apart, and I'm like, okay, these are the conductors. Check here. You know, maybe you got a ground loop for something you did. You know, cut the drain wire, so maybe it's causing the ground loop. And he's going through it, and he can't figure it out. He's like, hey, I'm gonna stop today. I'm gonna go home, and I'm gonna work on it in the morning, and I'll call you back.
So we never just grabbed another pair off the shelf and plugged it in just to see.
He did. He tried other RCAs, and it wasn't.
He didn't have another pair of 9000.
Not that, because he had already cut them and everything.
Okay. Right. All right.
So I was gonna send him another set, whatever.
Yeah.
Good guy. And for Randy to call me is a big deal.
Oh,
like Randy knows his shit. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Sorry about the cuss
No,
word.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Knows his stuff, and he is. But he's a great guy, and glad to help
Eric,
him.
always thought RCA quality, installer doesn't matter. Well, your installer is wrong.
Sorry about that. And
So
then,
much luck.
so anyways, he calls me back the next day, and he's like, dude, you're never gonna believe it. I'm like, okay, what? He's like, because I was giving him, I'm like, you know, it could be a backup sensor that's going bad, and it's happened to pick it up because it's around the same frequency because it's going bad. Because it was the way he had the install was a Cadillac.
Oh, should have opened with it was a Cadillac.
Yeah. And
we would have known.
long story short, he's like, it's not the RCA's. I figured it out. It was a relay for, I forget what he said it was for, but it was causing this interference.
Right.
And he traced it to the control module, and he pulled the relay out, and the noise goes away.
Really?
So it wasn't the RCA's.
Wow.
But the RCA was.
But at first, it was the RCA.
Mm.
Even from a guy as good as Randy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's easy. It's I mean, yeah. Trust me. I've been down that road many times, and we spent. Last week we spent 4 hours trying to figure out something, and it was like, oh my god, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Real quick, JR, Ernie just put the website, so you can go to www.stingerelectronics.com, so you can check all these products.
So just one last analogy.
Yes.
To try to explain this. So if you have an entry-level RCA, let's say, remember we were talking about zero is our holy grail. You're not going to get to there.
Yeah.
Let's say the signal loss to maybe it's maybe the materials in there are pretty good, and you get lucky, and the signal that passes through is flat. It doesn't have some crazy peaks in there.
Right. No character.
But it's 6 dB down. It's probably more than that, but we're just
yeah. Keep it simple.
let's say 6 dB down, right? So that's
It's a hell of a walk.
half.
Okay.
It takes 3 dB is twice the power, right? So
Yeah.
6 dB down. So you're like, oh, I set up my system, everything sounds great, I don't have any noise, and you have your levels where they have to be, and everything's golden.
Right.
Then you go decide to put in a nice RCA that's higher end, X3 or an 8000, 9000.
Right.
He switches those out. Well, now
RCA lives matter.
So now you switch those out, and all of a sudden you got noise.
Right.
Well, your gains are too high now. Because now that RCA is that's a 3, so you basically double the
your
input
power.
signal.
Yeah.
You double your input signal. And, and now
I see
you
what
have
you're
noise.
saying. Yeah, that's a good point.
So that
'cause you've
ICK
tuned-
calls on it all the time.
Yeah.
And it'll like readjust your gains. I bet you, and they're like, oh, it's fine now. Yeah. And I bet you it's even louder than it was before you adjusted your gains. You're like overdriving the amp. So
Moral
it's
to the
just one of those
story
things.
is spend the money on the RCA.
Almost like PowerWire, you want to get as much power to the amplifier as possible. You want to get as much signal to the amplifier as
Right.
possible.
Well, yeah, that's
Clean
why we
signal,
want to do
yeah.
zero gauge power. Zero gauge power with a $3 RCA. Good question, Thomas. How long should an RCA last for?
Well, ours are warranted forever because they should last
Copper
forever.
should last forever.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'll say that I have in my home stereo. I have the old purple. This, but purple.
Queens.
Queens. And then I also have the forest green.
Oh no, those are dreams.
Dreams.
Purple's
The dreams. Yes, I have the dreams.
How old are those?
90s.
They're before I even started AAMP.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
are,
yeah,
like,
early 90s.
Yeah. I have a set of kings in my.
Oh, the pink ones, the big kings.
Stupid, yeah.
Yeah,
But they're coax.
We ran those in JJ's house.
You can beat somebody with those.
Yeah, I know. We ran those in JJ's house. I also have the forest green ones. And the venom. Remember the venom?
Those are venoms. The
No,
green
the
ones.
dark green ones. The light green are venom, and then
The green venom,
the dark
yeah.
green.
Oh,
I don't remember what the hell those were called.
Yeah.
But yeah, the light green ones are venom. I have a bunch of venoms at the house. A lot of that stuff I just
Nice.
finally threw away because,
There's better stuff.
yeah. But they'll never go bad unless you vacuum them over them and cut them to pieces, or you have cats,
Or you have in a location where they actually move a lot.
or they can
Because
corrode.
you get a
The tips can corrode.
true, but you got other problems then if that's corroding.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You have a leaking problem.
if you're in a spot where the RCA has a
Movement.
possible
Yeah.
moving,
Yeah.
you'll get a breakage from stressing because the way the molecules line up,
Right.
you just break it.
I like the locking ends. I gotta say,
Thanks.
I
Nice,
love
yeah.
locking ends.
until you forget to unlock them and you.
And then you try to pull them on a radio and they don't want to unlock. What they need is what you need to do is come out with a tool that slides over the wire like a socket with a cut.
Oh, you mean like for AC lines and stuff?
Yeah. So that like when you go to put this into the back of the radio, you can just kind of like. And then you
Yeah,
can-
I really probably not want anybody to tighten them that much.
Well, I know, but it's
It
really.
really is like a quarter turn.
Yeah, I know, but
It's never coming out.
It's never coming
never
out.
coming out.
I don't ever want to service that ever.
So
Ever,
remember when
ever.
you remember when we had the SD amps? The ones with the
Ah,
little
really,
plexiglass?
Wayne?
Yeah. What did Wayne say? Last customer that we moved
From
from
4,000
to
series
8,000
to
series.
8,000 series.
Turn it. You have to
You
turn
just
things
turn it
down.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not
okay.
smoke and mirrors, guys.
So, all right, so I had a really sad story the other day. We had a guy that came in, drove here from Georgia for us to fix all his stuff, and they had sold them 9,000 series, 17 or 12 footers. We needed 17s to move the stuff where we were going to move it,
Yeah.
but they sold them 9,000 series, 3 9,000 12 footers, okay, in a Camaro, and they ran them up the center console right next to the power wire. Which is fine, you know, it's not really the end of the world, but they wrapped it around the emergency brake, which was fun. And then they just proceeded to put this underneath the seat so that the seat was sitting right
Just
on top
smashing
of it.
it.
Just smashing it.
Smashing it.
Okay? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's $600 worth of cables that just got destroyed. For
Yeah.
no reason other than the installer was lazy.
Yeah.
People don't care.
But you know what? I feel bad for that, but then there's situation, you know, and I also understand. And the installer maybe was making $10 an hour or something.
Oh no, yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Oh no.
It's one of these slam bam places.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
around.
it was funny too because everything was such high quality, and then the install
Yeah.
sucked, and it was like,
But I mean,
those shops they end up. I don't know how they live because maybe the sheer volume, but they live off of a reputation they earned like 20 years ago, and then they just churn stuff out.
oh yeah.
And
I
it's
can
all
see that.
garbage.
Oh, well,
And
I'm sorry to interrupt, but when I started, going into car audio and everything, I always heard good, stores and everything. I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. And then I started working with Dean, and I start seeing all this installs, and I'm like, it's no way. And then it's like, yeah, believe me, that's how it is. I mean, back in the day, when other people was working, it was fine, but now it's totally different. I'm like, wow, man,
I mean,
it's sad.
I totally agree. I remember installs that we did
"See you, Jason."
See you, buddy.
that we thought we were cutting edge. Like we were like, everything had to be a certain way.
Mhm.
And if I saw that install now, like, I'd be like embarrassed.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Well, I mean, dude. Here's the deal. I mean, we'll end on this. I mean, obviously, I've got 28 years of bay, okay, and I've built from simple to simple and everything in between. And yeah, I mean, what you built 15 years ago, you built with what you knew 15 years ago.
Yeah, well, it's come
You know?
leaps and bounds. I mean,
Yeah,
YouTube and everything.
yeah.
Everybody's. It's easier to learn from everybody. It's
Yeah.
It's a great thing.
So I mean, it's a different world, and as long as you're evolving, you know, if that's all that matters. I mean, when we get our installs like this RX-7 that we had, we did that. We put an original. That was a 4000 series Pioneer. So we put it back in when that came out, which was 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, we had a 6-year-old install. And it was like, okay, so what's different about it now? What would we have done now that we didn't do back then? And it was like, okay, well, we have this amp board. We don't do we had an amp board, but we don't do amp boards like that amp board anymore. And the fuse holder underneath the hood, we weren't taking. Every car wasn't getting a fancy fuse holder. They were, you know, some cars didn't, and that car didn't because it was just we hadn't done that many at that time, so.
We don't put the law like, okay, we have to do it.
Wasn't like we didn't have 6 years of building them that we have now, where we look at every car and we're like, okay, we can build this. We didn't know how our products were gonna. So it's only natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nothing to be embarrassed about because you did the best with what you could.
No,
with what you
I
had.
totally agree with you. It's just like you always want to be better.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I have a little OCD. You have a
Oh
little
yeah,
OCD.
I got a lot of OCD.
But at that time, you doing, you know, the best,
Yeah,
like
I
they
mean,
didn't say.
Well, they talked about I went to Cartoons first,
Yeah.
right? I went to Cartoons.
Yeah.
They didn't even use MDF.
Right.
And like now you don't use everything MDF, but it was like, how are you not? They didn't have a spray gun.
Yeah. Yeah. They rolled.
I went in there and I'm like, you guys are like,
Yeah.
they get installer of the year 2 years in a row, and you're doing everything with a paintbrush and particle board.
Yeah. Evil 8. So
Serious.
basically, the Evil 8 we're waiting on Apple, right?
Evo?
Yeah.
No, we're just out of stock right now. We sold out already.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
I have one in my car.
I know.
wow.
I've seen pictures.
Okay.
What's up, Ethan? All right, so I think that's it for today, guys.
Sure.
Yep.
John, thank you so much for coming on. We're gonna
Thanks
go
for
ahead
coming.
and end the show, and I know you're gonna take all this stuff with you, so fine.
Yeah.
All right, guys. If you guys want the cool tools that we use at the installs, you can find them at dnftooldrawer.com. If you want to become a Patreon member, go right ahead. We appreciate it. We'll talk.
Say where?
Patreon. Where?
Patron. Actually, Corey said I become a patron member.
Yeah, I know, I
and
gotta
have an access.
I gotta figure out what he's.
Yeah.
I gotta get back to him on that one.
Yep.
I can if he's a Patreon member, I can email him tonight. I can email him links.
Yep.
So I'll do that tonight when I'm editing this. Sure. Well, you voted. It's all good. And then of course, Teespring/store/5stars is a place you can go and get cool shirts with 5-star logo on them. All right, whatever. All right, guys, it's been fun. It's been real. It's been a
Thank you,
Monday.
man.
Thinking
Thank you.
through. We'll be back again Saturday live. And don't worry, just because you didn't get a video today, you'll be getting them for the rest of the week. It's just daylight savings and family time yesterday. If you just want to watch me on a video, go check out The Boring Life of Dean Haley. We did a really good one last week. It was a lot of fun. So you guys have a wonderful day. Be safe. Be
Thanks,
good. And buy Stinger.
Yep.
Because we do. All right.
Bye.
See you guys.